So when it comes to supporting other artists, Young Thug, who's been in the news like crazy, criticized Andre 3000. Now, we're going to dissect Thug's claims about Andre 3000's legacy, specifically regarding his support for emerging artists. Now, the nuances of artists' legacies are something we've all contemplated or thought about. This actually adds another layer to the discussion. However, is there a minimum to what someone like 3 Stacks needs to contribute to his own community? So in leaked phone calls, Young Thug alleged that 3000 didn't adequately support emerging artists during Outkast's peak. This follows similar criticisms Thug had voiced about other prominent rappers as well. I think this is crazy, but I want to pose a question. Does an artist of 3 Stacks' stature have a responsibility to nurture the next generation, or is his artistic contribution enough?
I don't think any artist poses that responsibility to nurture somebody else based off of their stardom or lack thereof. I don't think it matters.
Strongly disagree.
You think they're supposed to?
I'm coming to you next. Finish your thought, bro.
I'm gonna finish it because I don't think that's necessary, man. If I actually rock with you and there's a vibe there and you know what I'm saying, I support you in that way, then yeah, okay, I can give you a feature. I don't feel like anybody is obligated to pull anybody or help anybody up if they ain't rocking with them like that.
I can agree
with that. To
that
you say what?
I can agree with that. But I think if you are an artist and you want to stay and continue to be an artist, it's imperative for you to help the younger generation, because if you don't, you're going to find yourself just becoming a legacy act or living off the one album or a few albums that you had and contributed to the culture. Case in point, Young Jeezy. I just went to his 20th anniversary of TM 101 to watch him perform his most classic album. Gucci can tour whatever, and he's always gonna get a look because he helped usher in the new wave. We would not know no Future, we wouldn't know Thug, we wouldn't know any of them people if it wasn't for Gucci coming in and giving an assist.
We wouldn't know Future if it wasn't for Andre 3000 and Dungeon Family.
No, that ain't necessarily true because didn't nobody know who Meathead was?
I mean, but he changed his name. The same thing with 2 Chainz. 2 Chainz used to go by Titty Boy. There's a lot of people that didn't listen to him when he was Titty Boy.
I love Titty Boy.
We know.
I still
yes. But they didn't put. But to Byron's point, people are finding out that Future was a part of the Dungeon Family after the fact.
That's true.
Same with the 2 Chainz thing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, some people understood the player circle stuff, but
yeah,
we did.
Yeah,
go ahead, bro.
They needed somebody else to co-sign him. You know what I mean? And
he's a different type of artist, though.
Who, Gucci?
Yeah,
he's a different type of artist than Jeezy.
No, not Jeezy.
I'm talking about them too. And yes, being Gucci, Gucci's a different artist than 3 Stacks. Is that what you're saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes, but to Thug's original point, in his heyday, he, like when Gucci was at his biggest, he was reaching out and pulling up the young folk.
But he was also doing that to feature them on 1017. So he's doing that, but he's using the young people as acts on his label or under him.
So Jay,
mm-hmm.
Jay getting when he was getting a little cold, he was reaching in a young pool.
They was
pulling
also
them up.
They was also aiming to do a different thing. That's what I'm saying. So when you Outkast was from
Jesus tried to do the same thing, but it didn't work for him.
It didn't necessarily work for him. But more so what I'm speaking on is a lot of the artists, like you can say a Master P. Master P had a slew of artists, but that was his hustle. His hustle was to get people, bring them up, put them out, because this is my record label. And I figured a lot of people actually tried to use that same formula in Jay-Z.
They did.
They had State Property. They had, eventually they had the Diplomats on there too. You know what I'm saying? They were trying to use that same formula until Jay became the businessman that he is. I mean, he was telling you, I'm a business.
But you saying that Cass didn't try to do that?
Cass did it with Killer Mike.
I was about to say they did it with Killer Mike.
Yeah.
And not only that,
Purple Ribbon All-Stars.
I think the Dungeon family as a whole was that.
Yeah,
That's true.
The Dungeon family, the situation with them is Outkast got on first.
Yeah.
So in turn,
And
they was
used
pulling
everybody
everybody
pulled
else
up. Yeah.
So, but
Slim Cutter Calhoun.
this is why I
Pimp
don't
Squad
agree.
Click.
This is
Yeah.
why I don't agree with what Young Thug is saying, because he's saying that Andre has never done this.
Okay.
This
I'll
is
give you
not
that.
true. And it's even the other stuff that he was talking about. He said the same thing about Kendrick. Kendrick ain't pulling nobody else up. Nobody gonna be
That's a
bigger than
lie.
Drake. He don't know what the hell he talking about.
Yeah, he don't.
Because again, I'm going back to 3000.
Good
His
point.
features. He was on Throw Some D's on it.
He was.
Didn't nobody know who he was.
To my
Rich
Rich
Boy.
Boy.
No,
Rich Boy.
Yes, they did.
Nobody knew.
No,
who
they
Rich
knew
Boy
that. They
was.
knew that song
was already
But
hot.
they ain't know
They
him.
knew
They
that.
knew that song.
He
They
didn't
ain't know
have-
him.
He didn't have
They
to
didn't
give
know
him that verse.
Yeah.
But at the same time, when you even talk about that, and then around the same time, it was the Walk It Out remix.
Walk It Out.
Like, you got to understand, like, Andre extended the life of those records, and they wound up
Yes.
getting played in places where they may not have been played.
Come on, man.
And honestly, there are so many, like, with that Walk It Out remix. Remember, there's like 5 other people on there, and a lot of times we just play the Andre
Man,
verse.
I
That's
only
real.
play the Throw Some D's on it if it's Dre on there, and I only play the Walk It Out if Dre is on there. And these are just 2 examples of features that Dre has hopped on and rode, and you know what I'm saying, did what he was supposed to do.
Ain't
Dre is
very
not the
many
type of
outside
person.
that, though.
But Dre is not that type of person. He ain't even doing Outkast record. he ain't helping Big Boy with none of his solo shit. So you using 3000 as your example of somebody that's supposed to help people out.
Well, I think the issue where Young Thug's argument is dismissed is he said at the height of Outkast, because all of these records we name it are at the tail end of Outkast when they were on the way out. You know what I mean? So
Thug,
these were just random appearances that you saw from Andre, and he's continued to do that from this point forward, from songs with Frank Ocean.
yeah.
I guess my argument for that would be On the Way Out would be justified if those features didn't shoot them records through cannons. So they clearly
was
clearly
already
was
hot though.
Yeah, but they
These
were not.
records
They
was-
weren't as hot as they were after he got on there.
I don't believe that.
I do.
I believe that.
100%.
I don't believe
that.
it. It just made like Jay Moore said, it just extended the life of the record.
Exactly. So if that hadn't happened, I feel like they wouldn't be being played as much now if they weren't for those features. I want to speak on Thug though, because Thug is his representation of what he expects people to do is based solely on making money. It has nothing to do with being an artist.
Mhm.
Culture.
Yeah. It has nothing to do with that. His whole aim is talking about you ain't putting nobody on and helping them make money, this type of shit. And if I don't rock with you, I don't rock with you. That was his issue with Kendrick too. If I don't know if y'all heard that phone call, he was upset because he didn't know if Kendrick was gonna do the joint for him that he reached out to him for. He's asking his guys, do he take money? And his guy's like, nah, he really don't take money like that. That's when he got mad. He don't want to take no. He don't want to help nobody out. He ain't gonna be able to be heard by real motherfuckers because he don't want to get on a song with me. He don't want to get on a song. This is how he talk fast. As
Yeah,
he don't want to get on a song with me. He don't want to get on a song with Wham. He don't want to get on a song with Dirk. He naming all these people, thinking that he needs them to get on. And it kind of goes back to the whole situation of when Kendrick brought up Drake. Drake, you run into Atlanta to get these features because they think just because you hot, you're supposed to let me get on the song with you. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to break bread with you and then we going to get high, we going to trend, blah, blah, blah. Kendrick ain't that type of artist either. So you're talking about 2 different type of people that I don't need your wave to get on. If I rock with you, we can do something.
It's beneficial for Drake. It ain't beneficial for Kendrick.
Exactly.
But
Look,
let's
all of this comes down to a level of sour grapes, if you ask me.
Yeah.
Because it's like, hey, it's not that what Dre didn't do for the younger generation and for his city. It's about what Dre didn't do for me.
Yeah, that's real.
Because at this point in the game, if you really do your research and you know who Andre 3000 is and you know who Outkast, the Dungeon family as a collective, you want to talk about a whole crew that's helped to put people on and put them in position. So at this point, I don't think Dre is obligated to do anything else for anybody. Like I said, you can't even give him he won't rap on his own shit.
Outkast put the whole city of Atlanta, Georgia on.
I'll be honest, like we knew Atlanta for R&B and for, booty shake. Like
we heard of Crisscross. Crisscross wasn't claiming Atlanta.
Yeah, but like Crisscross
ABC wasn't. They said they was from Atlanta, but like when Outkast as a whole came out and they went to that Source Awards and they said the South got something to say, that was a turning point.
That was a
cultural
cultural
rap game,
shift.
Period.
And honestly, if Dre stopped, if his contribution ends there, then I'm not saying some people be like, oh, he still needs to do more. He did enough.
Come on, man.
But this is the thing, though, is Young Thug actually is full of shit.
Yeah.
Because when the world was shitting on Thug because he was wearing dresses and, he was putting all these spectacles out over the music, you know what I mean? Him and Future, Andre was the one that kind of stamped him.
Yeah.
He was like,
Andre tell you Future one of his favorite artists.
He was like, look, man, these artists have some of the best melodies that you gonna ever get from an artist. He actually put it in perspective of what they were great at and stamped them and allowed them to get some type of notoriety or a cosign. He gave them the cosign. He might not have jumped on the record of theirs, but he definitely gave them the cosign that they was looking for to make them official in quote unquote hip hop, because at the time everybody was ready to shit on him because it was all mumble rap. Nobody was messing with mumble rap.
Yeah, I've said many times, Young Thug has some of the best cadences, but to me he sounds like somebody is coaching somebody.
Yeah,
so do it like
tracks.
this. Do it like this, but it would actually have different words to it. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, he's definitely done his due diligence and what he's supposed to do. So talking crazy about Dre not helping anybody is crazy.
Long.
It's like, hello.
After everything that you've heard from us, do we miss anything, or do you care? Or
if I go back to the original question, which was, is his artistic contribution enough? I don't have anything to add to where the conversation turned into. I think those are both valid points. But, I think more about the community aspect. I think more about the cultural impact that artists can have on their own community and stuff of that nature. So if the statement is, does Andre have some type of responsibility to uprich his community and and the culture that's a part of him? I would say absolutely he does to some degree, if he cares about it. And I think that that's important for the infrastructure of community and whatever you're building. It's the same way, like if you have like a local, look, if there's an artist that blows up in Indianapolis and they have not contributed to the culture of Indianapolis DJ music scene at all, do we care? We don't care.
I think that's different. I think it's different.
I think it's
because when we're talking about...
Let me finish this point. I think that it is important for people in general to give back to their community. Do I think that Thug is the messenger for this? No, I don't. Do I think it's right to particularly criticize Andre for what he's done? No, I don't. Who cares? He's an artist, right? And I think this is a multifaceted conversation. But brass tacks, I 100% agree across the board that it is important for people that are a part of something to give back to the thing that made them who they are, whatever that may be, and to continually do so as much as they can. Now, whether they do or not to whatever degree I also think is up to the individual, but I'm definitely going to look at certain people a particular way that do contribute more than just showing up and doing an artistic thing as opposed to giving back to their community in actual intention.
Okay.
That's my point, period. So, so that's why I wanted to finish that, because to me, it's not a conversation about Andre or Thug or Andre specifically or what he's done. I feel like Andre probably has contributed here and there or whatnot, so, but to me, that's the more important piece.
Okay. I can agree with that. My bad.
No,
if you want to say something.
No, I was just thinking about when you talk about Indianapolis, and I've talked about this a little bit before, when Nelly got on and was successful, You know, did he have to go back and reach back and get a whole bunch of people? It would have been nice. But the fact that he brought a level of attention to St. Louis as a fertile ground for hip hop success, you know, that did so much for the city of St. Louis, and still something that, you know, we celebrate. I know it's crazy, and there's all this conflict between certain members of the St. Lunatics and what he did and what he didn't do.
It's only one now because all the rest of them was on tour with him.
Now,
That part.
You're right. But now it's this thing where, like, even there was conflict between, you know, different camps in St. Louis, but now I see them all on stage together.
Yeah.
You know, whether it be the Jaquans, whether it be Chingies. You fast forward and now, you know, regardless what you think about it, Sexy Red, you know, so there was able to be a major economy based on hip hop, based off one person making it, you know, and he did what he could. But once again, he's still an artist. He's trying to maintain his career. A lot of times we think, okay, maybe an artist needs to do this and needs to sign people. Certain artists will tell you, is like, I'm not trying to sign any rappers.
Sure.
That is a distraction from my current situation. Like, I'm putting energy into something. Like, if honestly, if 50 had to do it all over again, I guarantee you he wouldn't have given Game all those records for his first album.
Yeah, because that could have been his second one.
Exactly. So now, you know, you kind of have, for lack of a better term, a blueprint of, okay, if I'm gonna be an artist and I have 4 or 5 years to really do my thing, I shouldn't spend part of that time trying to nurture a bunch of other people's careers. Now, I can give them cosigns, I can go ahead and give them features, but if you're looking for me to sign you and walk you through certain doors, I don't have time to do that. I have to get myself through those doors while I'm still hot.
I think Nelly is the person. I'm coming to you, Lone. I think Nelly is a good example because based off Young Thug's quote unquote argument or comment, Nelly wouldn't apply to that. The reason I say that is because, yeah, everybody knew he was him, but the way I hear it in the story, correct me if I'm wrong, he made sure the St. Lunatics got solo deals as well. That, to me, is pouring back into your homies and taking them with you.
Yeah, if some people ain't rocking with you, like, the only thing I can do, like, I mean, we talk about artists giving the other artists a shot, and like Biggie had Junior Mafia. Everybody had somebody. Snoop's was Dog Pound. Of course, they had a better success. He had 213 as well. Those are reaching back, pulling people up. I feel like all of these artists that he's talking about, so even if we eliminate, like you were talking about, this isn't a Thug and Dre conversation. This is just a general conversation of artist A came out in such and such area and they're supposed to help people in that area.
Well,
I'll G to that to a certain extent, because if I'm not rocking with y'all, I'm not rocking with y'all. My group as a whole this is who I'm putting on. Like, say I got on.
Sure.
We're on. You know what I'm saying? I feel like our mission and our goal is to make sure that we stay on. And when we cross that bridge, when we can help pull people up, then we cross that bridge. I don't feel like that just because somebody made it from one area, I am obligated to make sure everybody else makes it. I might pick one person that I rock with, and now, okay, you made it. Now, is it his his job to do that? You know what I'm saying? Maybe he does do that. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like that it's not an artist's job to do that. He's not the AR. He's not the record company. He's not, unless he's trying to build a record company. If he has a different mindset on what he wants to build, then yeah. But when somebody actually puts on for Indianapolis, Indiana, and gets on, I kind of figure, I feel like that a tour would accompany some people that might, you know what I'm saying, open up for them and things of that nature. But you can only do so much for people, man.
Go ahead, Lon.
I think it just depends on like where we're really kind of having this conversation from. Are we having this from a, I don't know, maybe I'm biased in this sense just because of the nature of work that I do, right? And the fact that most of my day today, 4 days out of the week, is literally mentoring.
Yeah.
Right. And so, you know, I see the power in not even like putting people on, but like creating things for people to get to wherever they want to get to. And so I don't look at this necessarily as like Andre being like, oh, I'm going to get you on a verse or I'm going to do this for you. Cause I agree. Like as an artist, like if I don't want to work with you, I'm not going to work with you.
Yeah.
Mhm.
To me, it's not about that. It's about enriching the community to
Mhm.
give opportunity to people that came up in the same type of area where you're from, or to make it a little bit easier for those that come behind you. You know, it's like it's the plant the seed for the tree thing that you're never going to
Yeah.
see type thing.
And that's kind of a
and-
different conversation.
And that's what I was saying, right?
Yeah.
Because you guys took it one place, but I'm thinking about it from a different
Different
perspective.
place,
Like I don't really, because I agree with what you're saying. I don't think Andre has a specific responsibility to do anything for any one person,
Mhm.
but I do think we all have responsibility as something that we care about to put back into the thing that we care about in a particular type of way. If we become a certain level of notoriety, like if I become successful to the point to where people look at me and they care about the things that I'm doing, then I'm going to, my entire goal is to make it easier for those underneath me in
There
general.
it is.
And
That's it.
to me, that's like, is this person's goal just to make sure that they're good and nobody else, or whoever? Do they just want to be the power providers at this point? Do they just want to be the masters in this thing to be able to choose who gets to rise up? Or are we going to give everybody the opportunity? And
No, I
I
understand that.
think it's just a different frame of mindset
No, it is.
that I kind of operate from.
The
That's
only
all.
reason that I'm going the direction I'm going is because I actually heard these conversations.
Sure. And
so
think-
I know exactly what he's talking about.
No, for sure.
When he's talking about
I
Dre didn't help nobody.
I think your guys' conversation was great. I'm just saying that where I'm coming from, I'm just taking it a different place.
At the end of the day, we all know, everybody on this panel knows, I've said this over and over and over again. You whack if you obtain a wealth of knowledge and become someone that is successful and that is looked at, to his point, to Lone's point, and you don't sow any seeds back into those that are coming up behind you. To me, you
No,
whack
that's
if you
real.
do that. You don't do that. So it's at the person's discretion, I guess, is what we kind of talked about. You can choose how you want to do it.
Yeah.
Right? But how impactful is it at the end of the day? Is it setting up a program? Is it teaching? Is it 2 or 3 features? But if you don't pour back into where you come from, you whack in my book.
Mhm.
All I
As
gotta
simple as
say
that.
is the South got something to say.
That's
But
it.
He also said something in the question that was like, is the art enough?
Yes.
Yeah.
And yes, it is. You know what I mean?
It
Because
can be,
yeah,
maybe
because
to an extent.
he's birthed people that he's never touched,
Mhm.
you know, or never spoken to.
I'm one of them.
I think the only argument that I would have against that is, and we don't have to go down this conversation, but it's the deeper conversation within how society works and how we don't value the art.
Mm-hmm.
So because consumers and general population doesn't value the art, what are we doing as artists
Yeah.
to put back into it so that it kind of skews it a little bit once we become that success?
Yeah.
I say this: the masses don't value the art.
Sure.
You're going to strike a nerve in another artist. You know what I mean? So if you just put the art out and another artist see it, that's enough to strike something in him. And
Sure.
then you got a whole nother thing blossoming over there. Like, I think Smino is a child of Andre 3000.
Sure.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Like, all of these are different. Like, it's all of these people are people that he's touched that he might not have ever known. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? And they might not ever say it, but you can hear it when you listen to their art.
I don't disagree. I don't
Mhm.
disagree with that. Yeah.